Hello guys, welcome back to Raise Tarot and welcome if you are new. My name is Stella and in today's Pick a Pile reading, we are going to do something that I'm pretty freaking excited to do. We are basically going to compare your intuition about this connection, about the connection with the person that you're inquiring about versus the actual objective energy of the connection. So this is basically going to serve you to navigate a little bit, potentially some wounds and triggers that arise within this connection. And some blockages and things like that for you to hopefully be able to see things from a different perspective and essentially just navigate the situation better if you're encountering some problems. Okay, so we are going to do this each pile in three different stages. The first one, as per usual, is some pre-shuffled oracles that I have for you guys. And we are going to look into first, the first upper row of the oracles will indicate us, or it will basically just be like an energy check about how you perceive and how you live this connection. So basically what your intuition is telling you about this connection. And then the lower row of oracles is going to essentially be the higher objective perspective on the energy and essence of this connection. And then afterwards, we're going to go into the tarot. I don't have any specific questions, like preset questions for the tarot section of this reading, because I decided that we are just going to see essentially what needs to come through. If we get some specific questions, like it could be how your person is feeling, or like messages from your person's higher self, messages from your higher self, or just diving a little bit more in depth about what this connection is truly about, perhaps lessons and things that you have to learn through this. We are going to just wing it, see what we feel inspired to do. I mean, what I feel inspired to do since I'm reading the cards, but you know what I mean. So yeah, and then afterwards, as per usual, we're going to close the reading off with some advice. And I think that's it for the intro. Basically, long story short, we are going to ask the question if there's something that you're not seeing, or if there's something that you need to take into consideration that perhaps your intuition or your current state is not necessarily picking up on this connection. And yeah, so we have three piles today. Pile one is the Cosmovisions Tarot with this blue chalcedony. I'm not entirely sure. Please focus. There you go. Please focus. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Then for pile two, we have the Moonchild Tarot with this lapis lazuli. This stone is so cool because it's sodalite, which is one of my favorite stones. Well, not my top 5 favorite stones, but it's a stone that I really love. And it has little specks of pyrite and gold inside, which I adore. And then pile number 3 is the White Sage Tarot with this blue apatite tumbled stone. Focus. That's it for today's piles. As per usual, feel definitely more than free to pick more than one pile. Definitely also take your time, take some freedom to pause the video. Just go back to the crystal close-ups to see which ones are calling you the most. And yeah, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in your pile. Hi pile 1, if you chose the blue chalcedony stone as well as the Cosmovisions Tarot, this is going to be your reading all about your intuition / perception about this connection. the connection that you have with the person that you're inquiring about, and the objective, higher perspective on what this connection truly is about. So I hope that I explained it well in the introduction. For those of you who skipped the introduction, I guess you can go back to get updated on what we're doing here exactly. But yeah, basically the goal of this reading is for you to gain some insight, hopefully, if this is your pile, on whether there are some things that are like hidden, or if there's some limiting beliefs that are holding you back, or if there is something that you need to know that is outside of your field of vision, so to say, about this connection, and hopefully for you to be able to navigate this connection if you're experiencing some problems and blockages better within yourself and with your person, whatever is fit. So again, for those of you who skipped the intro, the first row of oracles is going to indicate how you perceive and how you live this connection, and the lower row of oracles is going to give us basically the higher objective perspective on this connection. Then afterwards, we are going to go into the tarot to see whatever question we need to be asking. This could be just diving deeper about specific things about what, oh my god, I can't talk. I don't have any specific questions for the tarot part. So we will just see as we go through these oracles first, what questions we want to ask, what questions I feel called to ask and to dive deep into. So that could be about you, it could be about the connection, it could be from your higher selves, or it could be about your person. And then afterwards, we are going to dive into some advice for you specifically, and that will be it. So without further ado, let's see what we have here for you. What is your intuition telling you about this connection? We have the human gift. I think I need to make more space. Then we have two of these cards. The first one is passion, and the second one is faith. Then we have gifts from the past, number 59, and this was number 17. So 59 adds up to 14 or 5, and 17 adds up to number 8. And then we have the fifth house with passion, play, children, confidence, and creativity. And then for the last card for how you perceive and live, experience this connection is the lake with the element of water and depth in reverse. Let me see real quick. Okay, this is all right. I think this is okay. Is it focused? Yeah, nice. And then for the higher perspective and spiritual energy of this connection, we have mortification with number 68. Then we have doubt. I release the need to know all of the answers. We have the crown chakra with number 7. The frequency of the crown chakra, the violet flower of life, supports our spiritual connection to the universe and our ability to transmute negative energy into light. Damn, let's see if my ability to speak words to English today is going to get any better. Anyways, then we also have Aquarius number 23 or 5 with I know. Look at how much purple is going on here. And then we have the card of time. So first thing that I really want to point out is that this card came out in the last reading that I posted as well. So perhaps it would be interesting, and I could definitely see with the energies here, it wouldn't surprise me if you also had that pile in that reading. So if you have watched it and you can confirm that you saw this card before, then congratulations, take that as an extra confirmation. And if you haven't watched it and you feel called to, then, you know, do whatever you please with that information. Okay, so pile 1. There's definitely a limiting belief of yours that stems probably very likely from past relationship trauma, if you will, like an unhealed wound from past relationships. That is blocking you from enjoying this connection to the fullest potential. If you feel dissatisfied, if you feel very satisfied with your connection with this person, it's probably not your reading, because there's definitely a degree of tormented dissatisfaction. I actually want to read, this is the Rumi oracle, which comes, this is the deck, and it comes with a poem, a Rumi poem for every single card. So this card, the human gift, the poem reads this. Oh heart, what is your excuse for all these blunders? Such loyalty is offered by the beloved, yet so much treason comes from you. Such kindness is offered by the beloved, yet so much defiance and resistance comes from you. Such grace is offered by the beloved, yet so much fault and failure comes from you. Such attention is offered by the beloved, with sweetness and generosity, yet such jealousy comes from you, with so much doubt and suspicion. Definitely feel free to screenshot this, perhaps. I feel like the main message, if I would have to like wrap up in one single sentence this reading for you, pile 1, is that you are so worried, like you're hyper focused on the things that go wrong, that could go wrong, to such an extent that you don't even see the good things anymore. And I feel like you have a lot of worry, It's interesting, by the way, we have the word gifts twice, gift and gifts, and we have the word passion twice as well. I feel like you worry a lot that this might go wrong, and therefore your system is kind of already wired and hyper attuned and hyper focused to find and nitpick all the single things that might indicate that this connection might potentially go wrong. And every time that you get a little hint about something that is not perfect or that is not absolutely great in this moment, then your entire system is going to be like, see, this is happening again. See, this is going wrong. Whereas you might have a very big split because, of course, like within yourself, because obviously if you are with this person or if you're involved in somehow, in some type of way with this person, this might definitely be either a relationship or it might be a friendship that you would like to develop into something more. It could be some type of situationship. Doesn't really matter the label of this connection. The fact is that you have a very big split within you because you have, on the one side, you have this huge doubt and this huge distrust, and almost cynical kind of scornful energy about this connection, about this person, about whether they're right for you or not. And at the other side, you have this deep knowledge, like we have the crown chakra, and I know here, you have this deep-seated knowledge within your heart, I want to say. Not even like spiritually speaking, like sure, there's definitely a lot of like higher chakra activity and energy in this pile as well. But there's this deep-seated knowledge within your heart and within the core of your being that you know that you have so much love for this person. And you know that they have so much love for you too. And you know that there's gold, there's literally like a pool of gold seated in the middle of this connection within the two of you. And you guys have like a very, very strong, powerful bond with the two of you. And you know this, but your ego, your wounded past self, I want to say, is kind of almost going in self-sabotage mode. I feel like you might alternate perhaps between cycles of over giving and then cycles of completely retreating yourself and completely being like, oh, I feel like I'm not being reciprocated. I feel like you're not doing the same things that I'm doing for you. I feel like you're not there in the same way that I'm there for you, for me. And then you kind of like go all in and then you retreat back. You go all in and then you retreat back. And I feel like you have the expectation. This is possibly general, in general with people, but you really expect or hope to receive your energy from other people. Like the kind of energy along the lines of, I wish I had a friend like me. I wish I had a partner like me, which I mean is very fair because of course, like if we treat people in a certain way, like we treat others, we give the type of love to others that we desire to receive. So like if we love to receive physical touch, if we love to be cuddled, then it's very likely for us to be very touchy-feeling with others. If we love to give physical gifts, like presents to people, then we really, really are happy when we receive gifts back. Or the other way around, sorry, like if we really love receiving gifts, if that is something that really makes us feel loved, then we will be more likely to give very thoughtful, very curated presents to others. And then, of course, when you encounter a partner or a friend who is totally not into gifts, who is totally clueless when it comes to like giving or finding the right present, who is totally clueless to, who is just not a very great gift giver, then that it can hurt you in the heart, basically, because you're like, why why can't I receive the energy that I desire? And the thing is, perhaps the person that you are with has very different love languages than you. That they have very different ways of showing love than you have. So I feel like one core message here is allow yourself, first of all, allow your person to express themselves and to manifest and express their love for you and their care and affection for you in the way that they feel is genuine to them. But also allow yourself to be gentle, first of all, with yourself, but also be gentle and understanding and open to receive this person's energy. For instance, if their love language is acts of service, this is just an example. Could be literally, could just be like a synchronistic example for you. But if your person's love language is acts of service, then they perhaps might make you a cup of coffee, and that might mean a lot to them. They perhaps might come pick you up somewhere with the car, and that they might feel like that is a very big gesture of love. Whereas for you, maybe it's just like common decencies, like of course it's just like normal things, and it doesn't mean that much. So what happens then is that you feel unsatisfied, and this person feels not seen, like their efforts and the energy that they put in is not good enough, that it's not valued. And I feel like this is something that is actually reciprocated, because indeed, if you value a lot of physical touch and you just get very touchy-feely with them, and then they don't seem to notice that that's how you express love, it works the other way around too. So there's definitely this almost miscommunication on an energetic level of how do I show love to you, and how do I like to receive gestures and confirmations of love, and how of course, there's always room for communication and be like, okay, so this is what I like, and this is what makes me feel loved, and what do you... It's very important. I feel like you guys haven't had an open conversation, like an explicit conversation about, or if you have had such a conversation, that maybe it hasn't been really settled or resolved, any of these discrepancy feelings. But there's definitely indeed a discrepancy between how can we love each other and how can we show affection to each other in a way that the other person understands. With this mortification card right here, this card is all about death. And this card is specifically about, wait, let me take the notebook, not the notebook, the guidebook. This is the Alchemy deck by Kim Krans. Because it was such a good description. Where is it? Oh. And it's, yeah, there you go. So this card is all about decay, death, decomposition. Mortification is the great alchemical operation of darkness. What was once composed now decomposes. What was once presentable is now despicable. This stage cannot be avoided. The underworld has taken us into the dark interior of its belly, and here we reside until spring. Through the natural process of decay, we descend into depths we didn't know existed. The alchemist soon finds mortification is a stage of regeneration and sacred power, while the soil is fertile and rich, offering nourishment for tomorrow. This stage cannot be rushed. And I feel like I want to repeat, this stage cannot be rushed. So if you feel like everything is crumbling and everything is wrong and everything is dark, I'm currently filming this in winter, and days are getting slowly more and more. It's thundering outside right now. I don't think you guys can hear it, but it's pretty cool. But you know, as outside, so within, or as without, so within, as above, so below. Like, we all go through inner winter, inner spring, inner fall, inner summer. And I feel like you guys, at the time of you finding this reading, you guys might be in an inner fall slash fall or autumn, depending on which part of the world you come from, or winter stage within this connection, or within yourselves within this connection. But yeah, that might definitely be a type of energy that you resonate with currently. The darkness must have time to do its work, to dismantle and to loosen, to free us from old scripts and old stories. As we learn to surrender to this great operation, the earth churns and wisdom whispers in the dark. She envelops us with grace and the promise of what's to come. So yeah, definitely some things are needing to be transformed. this is the objective spiritual energy of you guys' connection with this person. There's something specifically for you, Pile 1, watching this video, but potentially also for your person. There's definitely a lot of transformation here to be done for you, of inner shifts and inner transformations. Because again, there's this shift or this split within you of like, oh, this is not good enough for me. This is not satisfying. I'm not happy within this connection, and I don't feel fulfilled. I feel this tormented disturbance of my happiness. I feel like every time that I'm happy, a what if comes in, like, oh, Pile 1, like, my person is so nice, but they also don't do this, and what if they can't give me this, and I need this, but I can't get it from them. But at the same time, you freaking adore this person so much, and you want to keep them in your life. And I feel like with this person specifically, it's a matter of finding a way that genuinely works for the both of you. Which, I mean, if you come from a past of a lot of conditioning and of expectations of how connections should be or should look like, then it is hard. Nobody knows how to do this human connection thing, truthfully. We're all here to learn with and through each other. And this is definitely something that you guys are doing with this person. You guys are learning how to be with someone, how to truly see them, how to truly receive them, how to balance loving yourself and loving someone else at the same time, how to balance putting yourself first but also not forgetting about the other person, and how to balance valuing and nourishing and nurturing them without forgetting about yourself, how to find a balance between appreciating and accepting what you are getting from this person, but also not forgetting about the needs that you still do have, like the needs and wishes and wants and desires that you do have that are not being met within this connection. I feel like you have a low-key seated a low-key seated belief that your desires cannot be met because you may be too needy, because you may be too much, you may be too sensitive, too emotional and all those things. So you believe that perhaps somewhere, this might be a very subconscious type of belief. It doesn't have to be literally you think, oh yeah, I don't deserve to be listened to, or I don't deserve to be held while I'm crying and things like that. But there's definitely within you, within your own certain problems that you have with this person. You might be very well aware that they're inner struggles. Like if you also struggle how to communicate these things to this person, it's probably because you don't have full clarity on how this works for you personally. And I know it can sound very vague, and I mean it is, because I feel like there's a lot of chaos and lack of clarity within you currently. And I feel like this is definitely something that is being highlighted by these cards, is that you need to be finding clarity within yourself first before you are able to get all your ducks in a row and before you're able to communicate clearly with this person. Because if you don't know what you need to communicate to this person, then you can't communicate it to them, obviously. Also with this time and doubt, I release the need to know all the answers, and this I know card, I feel like there is... You might have Aries placements, specifically Aries moon. There's a certain impatience within you and your expectations and your expectations towards this connection, towards this person. Perhaps you are someone who grows and develops and transforms and just transforms very fast. Like you might be a very fast-paced soul, if that makes sense. But there's a very big chance that your person, if you're like that, that your person is the complete opposite. So they might need a little bit more time, which of course can be frustrating because of course it's different paces, but it doesn't mean that it's impossible. Of course, if it's a really genuine problem for you, then you should acknowledge that as well. But it doesn't have to be a problem. The problem only arises if you really expect them and need them to keep up with your pace. There's a lot of healing in finding patience with someone else, which oftentimes, like it might be very well the case if you're resonating with these cards right now, it might be very well the case that your person needs a lot of patience from you, whether they have asked you specifically or not. You finding, if it resonates and if it feels genuine to you, you don't have to force anything. You don't have to force things that a YouTube reading on a tarot reading on YouTube is telling you to do. Like, you don't have to, you know, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You probably already have these inputs and information before, if it really is meant for you, if it's your message. If it's not your message, just leave it. But there's a lot of healing actually to be found for both of you if you can find some patience for this whole situation, for this person. And if you can kind of, I feel like there's a need for you to let loose of your expectations and your strict, almost strict, you might have a lot of fixed placements, by the way. Yeah, I wanted to say Leo is getting a lot, you could be a Leo rising or a Leo Venus, perhaps. Oh yeah, we have Aquarius, which is another fixed sign. This doubt cards for some reason, because it has four sides, reminds me of Taurus. I don't know why, but the number 4. Wait, no, Taurus is the second. It's the second sign of the zodiac. But yeah, we definitely have Leo energy in here and Aquarius energy. Yeah, I feel like for you, this connection is not growing fast enough. And honestly, I think that objectively speaking, partially it's because of your impatience and like you're resisting the very essence, the very beauty of this connection as it is. So you're partially manifesting this blockage, this literally like time blockage. Because you're always kind of in your head, you're ahead of yourself, you're ahead of your connection with this person. And you might be thinking like, why haven't we gone super deep with each other yet? Like, why haven't we unraveled all of our deepest, darkest secrets and traumas yet with each other? So for you, there might be a lack of depth that is not necessarily because the depth is not there. It's just because you expect it to look in a certain way while it doesn't have to be the way that you expect it or feel like it has to look like. I feel like by having these expectations, and you kind of have this idea in your head of like, this is the way in which it has to go. Like a very rigid path that you feel like it has to look like. And in this way, you're kind of like not seeing all the ways that this connection truly is. You're kind of not seeing, you're not allowing yourself to see all the beauty that lays outside of this strict vision that you established for yourself. So I feel like for you it would be very beneficial to allow, I'm hearing ego death, recognize what your ego is saying to you about this connection, about how things should be, and just allow yourself to sink in how this connection truly is, to sink in the true essence of this connection and enjoy the beautiful parts of it. Then of course, if you have some needs and wishes that are not being met within this connection, then there's always a way to work with that. But if you keep being frustrated about those things, you're really working against yourself. I feel like that is, for now, what is coming through from these cards. I'm not entirely sure what we should ask the tarot. Okay, I feel like I want to ask the tarot, we're just going to put these to the side. I feel like I want to ask the tarot a couple questions. We're probably just going to get a few cards. Not like an entire spread for each question. But I think I want to ask the tarot, what is the deep, beautiful value of this connection with this person, and the beautiful energy and the value that this person is bringing to your life that you're kind of not seeing or not paying enough attention to? So kind of, what is a beautiful aspect of this connection that you're kind of blinded to and distracted from? And I feel like afterwards we can ask, how is your person feeling about you? What their feelings and thoughts about this are. And perhaps something else. We can see. Oh, I need to shuffle a little more. Okay. So what are the positive aspects and the beautiful aspects of this connection for pile 1 with their person that pile 1 is kind of not paying enough attention to, that would benefit them immensely from acknowledging and being more present with, if that makes sense? The Six of Cups, and we have the Knight of Cups. Damn, it's raining so hard right now. This is so nice. Anyways, I feel like spirit or your spirit guides want you to sit down with yourself and kind of look. This is nothing too specific, I feel like, but they want you to sit and look within yourself and just remember, feel into all those times that this person has made you feel loved, and truly be present with those energies. Because perhaps your person indeed like might have brought you a coffee or something, or they might have told you something, like they might have done something to show you that they really love you and that they really appreciate you and that they really value you. But you might have not fully taken that in because it's not necessarily the way in which you would prefer to show love. And those are the moments in which you really fail to see and to feel how much this person values and cherishes you. And if you are able to tune into, like, when those things happen, like, definitely start paying more attention and being more present with your person. If you feel like they're not very present with you, then it's very likely that you are doing the same thing to them and with them in different ways. Be present with these small acts or words of love from your person, and truly look at them in the eyes and just like feel into the energy, so that you first of all, your person can feel acknowledged, and you can truly feel how this person feels about you, and you can truly take that love in, because perhaps you have this blockage about letting love in, and this is just how it manifests, because you're focused on all the ways in which you're not receiving love, in which instead of being open and receptive to the ways in which you are being loved. So of course it's going to be really hard for you to feel loved if you're not even attuned or like turned open to the instances in which people are showing you that they love you and that they care about you. And you kind of forget about all the times and all the instances in which people have showed you, or like this person in specific has shown you that they love you and that they care about you and that you're valued. But you only kind of like always remember like your anxiety. You definitely might have a more anxious attachment to people, which again, your ego and your brain and your anxiety is just going to find all the confirmations, and they're just going to hyper focus on the ways in which you're not being loved and you're not being appreciated. What else? We have the Nine of Cups. Yeah. The Nine of Cups is all about wish fulfillment. And again, this is kind of ask yourself, how is you not receiving everything you want? How is that, first of all, how is that hindering you? How is that very thought of like, I'm not receiving what I want, I'm not receiving what I desire, how is that thought affecting you? Is that a productive thought? Is that like actual intuition, or is that anxiety? Is that a tormented type of feeling, or is that like a deeper seated knowing? It could literally be both. There's no right or wrong answer. There could be truth to both. It's really a matter of learning how to work with these energies in a way that is productive to you. So you don't have to if it's truly your intuition, if your intuition is truly telling you like this is not fully satisfying, okay, accept that. What are we gonna do with that information? Am I going to, like, do I want to leave this relationship? Do I want to find someone else? Do I want to do something else about it? What can I do with this information? And that's also how you reclaim your power. And that's how you can find peace with your anxieties and your fears and your worries and your doubts and everything like that. If you just own up to all the ways that you're feeling, like the beautiful and the bad ways, the beautiful and the ugly ways that you're feeling. Are we still rolling? Yes, nice. Just take ownership and just make decisions that are good for you, and this will change for everyone. These might be very, very, very specific little decisions that you have to take for yourself. I want to take one more card on this regard. The Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, this slow pace allow things to develop slowly. Oh, we also have the Knight of Swords on the back of the deck. Allow things to develop slowly. There's so much, like, you might be, for instance, like, if you're worried about, like, why haven't we moved in together yet? Why hasn't this person invited me over to dinner with, like, depending on where you are, like, this could be literally just like a situationship, a situationship that has been going on for just like a couple weeks or months, or it could literally be like something that has been going on for a long time. Allow this thing to develop as slowly as it needs to, like slow and steady. This doesn't need, perhaps you're someone who is used to relationships or like romantic things with people that just fire up real fast and really intensely and really passionately, and then they just burn out as quickly as they lit up, essentially. There's so much value in taking things slowly. Like the Knight of Pentacles, for instance, like the Knight of Swords, yes, it goes very fast. It goes places very, very freaking fast, but it usually is very impulsive. It doesn't have a very clear idea of what is going on. It doesn't have a very clear idea of what they want from the situation. So like these situations, the situations that situations and people who reflect the energy of the Knight of Swords, so this fast, impulsive, direct, super speedy energy, they leave as fast as they go. The Knight of Pentacles is all about slow and steady, methodical, being aware of their surroundings, being aware of what's going on, being very conscious and being very grounded and present. So definitely this is a quality that your person might be embodying that you don't appreciate enough. Which, I mean, if it's not something that you're interested in, if it's not something that you want to appreciate, if it's literally something that you don't like, then that's also fine. But I feel like for a lot of you watching this reading, you're being asked to slow down within yourself and ask yourself, why do I need things to be so fast? Why do I need to have everything right now? This is also why I'm getting like Aries vibes, because I actually recognize this energy from Aries moons. Like if it's not happening right now, it means that it will never happen, which is not true. Things need time to develop, especially on this 3D Earth realm, place, dimension that we're in. Physical reality is just very slow. You can know and have certain energies within you that are just already like it just takes time for things to manifest in the real world. Just a very simple example, you might know exactly how you feel and what you want to say, just like you have that entire knowledge, the entire picture within yourself, but it takes time to take one word after another out and explain to the other person, this is how I feel and this is how it's going, and this is just like it just takes time. I want to know, how is Pile One's person feeling about them? How is Pile One's person feeling about Pile One? How is Pile One's person feeling about them? We have the Five of Cups. Yeah, I feel like this person knows. I feel like this person definitely feels a little bit unseen. Because the Five of Cups is all about looking at the spilled cups and not seeing the cups that are still upright. I feel like your person knows that you're unsatisfied, but they also feel incapable of making you satisfied because they feel like whatever they do might be not enough. Which honestly, if you resonate with this is definitely mirrored. This is definitely something that you guys mirror back at each other. And perhaps this is literally the same mechanism that you guys are being invited to heal by just being more aware, by essentially getting your heads out of your own arses and just being more present with the other. It's a lot about being more present with them and their energy, and they, you know, it would ideally they would be able to do the same thing, but you're watching this reading and you're only responsible and in charge and in power of doing things with yourself. Like you can't change, you can't make people change, you can't make people want to change. The energy that I'm getting from this person is a very soft, kind-hearted, sweet, gentle soul. And I feel like perhaps yeah, I feel like both of you don't feel like you don't know how to be with someone, how to make things right, how to get things right. And truthfully, you're really here to learn how to do that with each other. The Page of Pentacles. They're very curious. They really want to understand you, but I feel like perhaps you might sometimes indeed retreat in what feels like the wrong moments. What else? How does this person feel about pile 1, please? We have Strength in reverse. They're afraid of being their true selves. Although I'm saying this with caution, they might even be afraid of admitting this to you. Like there are definitely some things that they're afraid of showing you, because they're afraid that either they're not going to be seen or they're not going to be accepted by you. And I feel like this is definitely some insecurities that they have very deeply seated within themselves. And this doesn't necessarily have anything to do with your connection, although it might be triggered. Those things might definitely be triggered by your connection. What else? How does this person... Yeah, there's a lot of things that have been left unsaid between the two of you. And that's probably because you guys both struggle with communication, with knowing how to word things. Do we have to take these? Judgment. Yeah, this came out in reverse. Yeah, that's literally what I was just saying. There's a lot of things that haven't come out in the open yet. And the Queen of Swords, this kind of... Yeah. You guys both... Or one of you or both, this will differ for everyone. I'm not getting a specific thing here, but you might have come from a past in which, like, you guys had either of you guys had a parent that was kind of harsh with their words and kind of maybe shushed the person down, shushed their child down when they were trying to express themselves. So there was not a lot of look at this. I'm just going to show you upright. There's this Queen of Swords just closing up the beak of this swan. There's definitely this feeling of I'm not being allowed to speak. I feel like this is a very deeply seated trauma that is being triggered by this connection and potentially also perpetrated. So definitely for you, be aware in the ways in which you might be making this person feel afraid of expressing themselves, and also be aware of how you feel afraid to express yourself. Because this might also definitely be something that you guys have in common. Yeah, and we have the Devil at the bottom of the deck. So there's a lot of patterns that you guys both have in this connection that are holding you back for freaking sure. And at some points it might get unhealthy within yourselves, and these unhealthy patterns, they come out of you and they manifest in the connection. Because they exist within yourselves already. So like if you are noticing some toxic traits about this connection, if you're noticing some toxic habits or unhealthy energies between the two of you in the connection, it just means that they're coming out of you individually, okay? You and your other person. Relationships don't get toxic out of nowhere. If a relationship is toxic, it means that there's some toxicity within the individual people that just shows up in that connection. And these connections are they're tough. It can go different ways. It can just keep being tough. Usually it just has to get really bad before you get out of them and save yourself, I want to say, and make something better for yourself. You can also work together and just like work together with each other and really make sure that you guys have open communication and just like understanding and empathy and presence with each other. You can work together to make things better, or indeed at some point you will have to choose whether to keep going with this person, or whether the healing that you need is truly just recognizing that this is just not something that you want for yourself. Let me take some advice for you. Now I'm taking this deck that I made. Some of the cards I turned around, we're just going to take the ones that are flipping over on the table. We're just not going to take the ones that are just turn around, because for some reason I can't keep this deck all facing one way. So what advice do we have for pile 1 in this connection, please? What advice do you have for pile 1, please? Eyes, yeah. It's interesting because this deck has an eye on the back, and this is indeed just also with this 5 of Cups and this remembrance card of the 6 of Cups. It's all about look also with your third eye, I guess. But just try to see everything. Try to see things from a different perspective. Try to see the things that you haven't been looking at. Try to really see the situation better for what it is, and just see outside of your own narrow vision spectrum. Does that make sense? I don't want to repeat myself. I feel like this is just a confirmation of what we have been saying so far. Okay. I guess we're just gonna take, anxiety. Be aware of how your anxiety, what role your anxiety is playing in this connection, and I want to say ruin in this connection, because a lot of the time, I know it's a very harsh message to receive, but sometimes, yes, your anxiety is kind of making things go worse than they have to be, and it's not that you have a fault. You're not at fault for having anxiety. You're not at fault for being anxious. Like your anxiety is there for a reason. It's there to tell you things. And it's also not ruining good things in the way that you would expect it to. But what your anxiety is doing is kind of giving you a very dark, very pessimistic portrait of the picture, of the connection. And that's how it's ruining things. It's ruining good things for you within yourself. Which then, of course, is going to make you act in certain ways, and it's going to make you say certain things. So definitely be aware of how your anxiety is affecting your perception of this connection. And we also have roller coaster, ups and downs. Is definitely be aware of that. Blind, again, same concept of you're kind of being blinded. This is a message that is, I hope, coming through loud and clear. You're not seeing the beautiful things about this connection, and you're kind of only hyper focused on the dark side. So definitely try and make an effort to look at the bright side of things, if that makes sense. And Jurism, you don't have to keep going when things are shitty. It's really up to you to decide what things are worth keep working on, and what things are just past their deadline, past their due time. This could be about things within yourself and outside of yourself. It doesn't have to be this connection, this relationship. What other advice or final messages do we have for pile 1, please? Final messages for pile 1, please. We have celebrate life, make your life a celebration. Again, just perhaps this is literally like, take more time to celebrate the little things about your partner. Like if your partner does something small that is very nice for you, just like take that all in, celebrate that little gesture. It's going to feel so nourishing for you because you're allowing it to nourish you. You're allowing yourself to see the beauty of those things, and it's going to nourish your partner. So like definitely see the beauty, look for the beauty, start looking for the beauty in things instead of looking only for the things that are wrong, because that can be a game changer in your connection with this person. One more card from this deck, please. We're just gonna take this one. Determination, perseverance leads to fortune. Exactly. Pay attention to your mindset about this connection, and what your drive for this connection is. Because the right intentions do like a lot of the work oftentimes. Now, last advice for pile 1 from the starseed deck. Let's see what advice we have here for you. What final advice do you have? Weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. Definitely make a discernment between the things that are in your control and the ones that are not in your control, and be discerning between the things that you do want to nurture and keep going on and keep carrying on, and the things that are truly not serving you. Like this could be thoughts, this could be behaviors, this could literally be connections. You will have to figure that out for yourself, pile 1, because no one else can know that for you. One more advice, card for pile 1, please. All paths lead home. Inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. Yeah. About this all, I want to take one more, by the way, but all paths lead home. This situation, whatever the outcome is of this specific situation, with this specific connection with this person, it's going to lead you where you need to be. With or without this person, within yourself, it's definitely going to make, it had like, we had the death, the mortification card coming through. This is definitely meant to be very, very transformational for you. How that is going to be transformational is up to you, because you have authority about your own inner world and your own persona. But this is definitely allow yourself, give yourself the time, again, with that time card, to go through this process in the timing that is right for you. One more card, please, for pile 1. And there we have it. Fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life. Yeah, this is, again, surrender this kind of like almost a need for clashing that you have with this person, and just surrender to the fact that you guys are so different, and that you guys can bring so much beauty in each other's lives, and that if you would be the same, then it wouldn't be so good. It's so good. Like, when it's good, it's good, and it's when it's bad, it's super bad. But when it's good because it works. There is something with the two of you that works. And if you guys are like polar opposites, of course you can find some clashes sometimes here and there. But you truly are also complementary in so many ways. And it's really all about finding the beauty in that and not seeing it as a bad thing. Pile 1, thank you so much for letting me read your cards. I really hope that you got some insight or some confirmations, perhaps some good synchronicities in this reading. And definitely feel free to leave a comment down below letting me know how this resonated. As per usual, it means so much to me to know how my readings land on the other side of the screen. Also, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, as that really helps me out with the algorithm. And again, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hi pile 2, if you chose this beautiful lapis lazuli stone, as well as this big ass chunky deck that is the Moonchild Tarot, this is going to be a reading all about how does your intuition / perspective / experience of the connection with the person that you're thinking about, how does that match with the true core spiritual higher perspective essence of the connection. Okay, so how we're going to do this is we are going to have some oracles on the top row, which are going to indicate to us, it's basically just like an energy check for how you experience and perceive and how you feel about this connection. I just noticed that in the previous pile I had this ring here. Maybe I should just, for the sake of consistency, put it back there. Sometimes I take a little break in between piles because needed. Anyways, the first row is going to tell us all about how you perceive and what your intuition is telling you about this connection. And the second bottom row is going to tell us basically about the higher perspective on the core essence of this connection. So what this connection truly is all about. This is hopefully going to enlighten us a little bit and enlighten you a little bit on what it is that potentially is within you, blocking you from feeling completely being completely present with this connection. If there's some things that are blocking, like some unhealed wounds or patterns or something that you need to be aware of that are kind of blocking you from living the full potential of this connection as it is right now. I don't have any specific questions for the tarot. We will leave it open and see what kind of wants to come through. We will just, it could literally be any type of question that we are going to ask with the tarot. It could be multiple questions. It could be about how your person is feeling, or like going a little bit more in depth about anything that raises up or arises within the first part of the reading. And then, so we will just see. We'll just go with the flow and wing it. And afterwards, we're going to take some oracles for advice for you, and that will be it. So without further ado, let's see what we have here for you. Your experience side of the connection, your perception of the connection is described by number 42, Dance of the Divine Feminine. Hey guys, so I just finished doing your reading, and I was about to start pile 3 when I realized that I did not read you guys your Rumi poem that came with this card, number 42, Dance of the Feminine. So I will read that for you now and just insert it while editing, because that only seems fair. Okay, Dance of the Divine Feminine. If a tree could move from one place to another, it would not suffer the pain of the saw or the oppressive wounds. If the sun and the moon stood still like rocks, they could not offer brilliance. How bitter the taste of water would be if the river stopped its flow, remaining still like seawater. When the seawater rises to become a cloud, it loses its bitterness and pours the rain of sweetness. I have given you only a few examples. You can figure out the rest. Break away from the self and enter the kingdom of love. I had a little bit of a brain fart there. I'm not entirely sure why. Then we have two of these cards. The first one is Flow. I'm going to put this to the side. Flow. And we also have Death. Don't be scared of this card. We'll get into it. We also have Ripe Fruits with number 33. We have Pisces with Intimacy, Intuition, and Compassion. Ah, oh, look how pretty this looks together. Okay, then we also have Change with Wind, number 24 or 6, the element of air. Let me see if everything is nice, and it's definitely not centered, and it's also not focused. Now it's focused. We're going to center it. Yeah, we have an uneven number of cards. Sorry if that's unsatisfying, but we gotta do what we gotta do. Okay, looks good enough to me. Now for the actual core objective energy essence of the connection, we have Sublimation with number 67. Number 67. Then we have number 3, solar plexus chakra. The frequency of the solar plexus chakra, the yellow flower of life, supports our sense of self, our personal power, and our willpower, as well as our knowing of who we are and what our contribution is to the whole. We have Balance. We have Peace. I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. And we have the 5th house, number 29, Creativity. So let me start immediately off by saying that if you felt called to pile 1, there might be, I'm getting that it could literally be like, this is one person, like one person in this connection and pile 1 was the other person. Or it might be different sides of you. As I always say, readings are never, ever, ever, ever all-encompassing. They will never be able to pick up on the complete multifacetedness and complete energy of any person, situation, or connection. Readings always zoom in on one specific thing, or like one aspect of a person, situation, or connection. So definitely you could completely relate with this one, even though it might, some things, we haven't done the reading yet, so I don't know what will come through entirely. But yeah, even though when readings oppose or contradict each other, you might still be able to resonate with them fully. So that was that. In terms of zodiac signs, we do have Pisces. We also have the 5th house, which is the house of Leo. We also have, we have a lot of air and water. So you might definitely be someone with a lot of air and water placements. It doesn't have to be astrologically relevant. You might just currently in your life be at a place in which you are definitely resonating with a lot of like water and air energies, which is interesting because they are very, they're very similar, but also very different from each other. Which might be a theme here. Stick with me. So I feel like there is a certain, and I don't mean this in a bad way, so take this word with a pinch of salt and try to not judge the word as a bad or negative or positive thing. Just take it as a qualitative type of adjective. There's a degree of passiveness. You might have a quite passive energy towards this connection, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like feminine energy, there's definitely a lot of feminine energy coming from you towards this connection, and sometimes it may be out of balance. I feel like you may feel like you have to be in your feminine energy. Like you might need to embody a lot of your feminine energy in order to perhaps call in certain qualities from your partner in order for you to feel satisfied. So you might feel pressured kind of either from like society or from perhaps like from the way that you were raised or from I don't know, gurus and coaches online that give their tips and tricks and suggestions and advice and wisdom on conscious relating and things like that. Like you might follow a lot of those or be very much into learning about how to consciously relate with a partner. And you might feel pressured in a way that doesn't feel completely suitable and fitted or fitting to you. It doesn't feel completely comfortable to you. You might feel pressured to embody the extreme side of the spectrum that is femininity. I don't think that's a complete truth of who you are. We all have masculine and feminine energy. Some people are very feminine, some people are very masculine, some people are 50-50. Or 60-40, 70-30, like there's different degrees. We all are different degrees, and we are all at different ends of the spectrum, on the feminine and masculine spectrum. I feel like, again, you feel pressure to be extremely feminine and embody certain qualities that don't necessarily feel 100% fitting to you. And you're being invited through this connection. Perhaps your partner has, or I want to say your partner or the person that you're asking about, the person that you wish would be your partner, perhaps. They're not sort of giving in. They're not completely living up to your wishes for them to embody certain qualities, and that's partly because they're not supposed to. Partly that's because you are supposed to embody those qualities within yourself. Like if you are desiring for a healthy masculine embracing energy to like welcome your emotions and sort of be grounded and stable and embracing of your emotions, and your person is not able to do that with you, or you feel like your person doesn't have interest in doing that for some reason, or isn't attuned to those types of emotions, that's probably an invitation for you to embody that masculine, safe, grounded, embracing energy within yourself first. It's completely valid for you to desire that in a partner outside of yourself. It's not to say that you should have literally zero expectations and that you shouldn't even dare to desire those things. But you will probably have to go through some transformation within yourself first. Like you, with this death card and with this flow, there is this need for you to balance. There's definitely like, with this, there's a lot about like polarity and balance for sure. So Libra and Gemini might be significant. The mutable signs and the dualistic signs. So Libra, Gemini, Pisces, and Cancer. Although Libra and Cancer are cardinal signs. There's this need for you to find a balance between things within yourself, because you might tend sometimes to go to the extremes. Like you might see and do things in a black or white type of way. Like you might be like, it's either all this or it's either all that, and your job through this connection, just in general, and this connection is maybe just like a chapter of your own personal growth. This is not to like discredit the connection or to say that it's just a chapter in that, because of course there's a lot more to that, but there's a reason why this connection is happening and why it's making you feel in the ways that you do, and why it's triggering certain things in you. And it's because it's inviting you, it's pushing you to find a balance within yourself so that you can also embody that balance in the physical world, in the physical realm, and also bring that balance in the connection. You have a lot of, I was talking about this flow and death card. You might not know if you should just let things completely be as they are and accept them completely, or if you should just kind of go in with Kali energy and try to like throw everything upside down and change everything about yourself and do things that are completely out of your comfort zone and just try to like mess things up in a good way, to like uproot everything that you are and that you know about yourself in order to embrace and embody completely different traits. And again, neither of the two things is necessarily objectively correct. Both have their value, both have their time and place. Like there's a time and place for feminine energy, and there's a time and place for masculine energy. There's a time and place for being joking and fun and cheerful, and there's a time and place to be serious and vulnerable and all that stuff. As much as there is a time and place to be more in your feminine, flowing, passive, accepting, embracing, nourishing type of energy, as well as a time and place for you to be more assertive and put your foot down and take a decision and be more rational and be more strict in that sense. I feel like definitely you're looking for who you are, which is a very beautiful, it's a very uncomfortable and scary sometimes place to be in, because you might indeed just be very uncertain. Everything feels very unstable and very fragile and very much on the brink of something that you don't know what it is, on the brink of something crumbling. I'm getting tower vibes now, Scorpio energy. Well, the tower is ruled by Mars, so Scorpio and Aries. You're definitely very much searching, and you might be trying different identities on. That's, again, I'm getting a lot of Gemini vibes now from this. The thing is, it's like you're looking for an answer, for a specific fixed answer of who you are and how you should be, but that's not how it works. Not for you, pile 2. For some people, yes. For some people, they might be like, this is who I am, and it's constant within the norm. Like, nothing in life is fully constant and never changing. Like, everything is in flow and it ever changes and blah 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 blah. For some people, shape-shifting and changing and transformation is just a little bit more fast-paced and ever-present than for other people. For you, it's definitely not one single individual identity that you can find for yourself. It's not even about finding, but it's about creating it. It's like, I can identify with all these different things, but what is it that I want to identify with right now? What is it that I want to embody right now? Do I truly want to be completely, utterly, fully in my feminine right now and all the time? Or does it feel unsatisfying and incomplete for me? Do I also want to embody my masculine energy sometimes? Do I truly want to accept things as they are? Or do I actually want to try and change some things? Those are definitely answers that only you can answer. Or that you have to like sit with and ponder for yourself, because nobody on the outside of you can answer those things. It's definitely finding also a matter about finding comfort and peace peace in knowing that your core being will definitely always be the same, but your external self and your human self will go through different changes and transformations, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you're like unrecognizable to yourself, because at the core of who you might have experienced oh god, how do I explain it? So the path of finding yourself or creating yourself or discovering who you are, sometimes it might, like, after you have a breakthrough in your growth journey and in your transformation journey, it might feel like you are a completely different person, like you're a completely new version of yourself that you've never been or met before. But at the same time, so like it feels completely unfamiliar and completely strange and weird and nonsensical, because you are something now after this breakthrough that you have never been before. And that's kind of scary and kind of weird and kind of uncomfortable. But at the same time, it feels way more authentic and way more close to your core and way more peaceful and grounded than you've ever felt. And that's because you're like getting rid of layers that have been put there by years of education and expectations and social pressuring and false beliefs and wounds and coping mechanisms and all those fun things that are burdening us and putting us down and putting some types of weight on us. That's because you're getting rid of those layers. And it doesn't mean that those layers weren't true or authentic at some point, because they definitely were, because that's definitely something that you were embodying at some point, and that's definitely something that was true for you at some point. But everything has its time and place. And I feel like that's for sure one message that you needed to hear, that you need to sit with, is like everything has its time and place. There's a time and place for everything. The sublimation card is all about rising above, all about ascending, transcending. And I feel like there's a lot of like fickle earthly matter things that have been kind of like poking at you, that you know that shouldn't bother you, but you're still affected by them. And this is definitely an invitation of put things in perspective, see things from the bigger picture, see why those things, see what those things truly are. Like if it's people judging you, if it's people bugging you, be aware, come back to the awareness that that's just their opinion, their perspective, their energy. It's not yours. And again, I feel like a challenge for you right now in this energy, specifically also in this connection. I feel like this reading so far has been a lot about you. So we will focus a little bit more on your person and the connection itself in the tarot in a minute. But definitely for you, this connection is meant to help you decide who you want to be. Just take ownership of what energy do you want to embody and what characteristics do feel true and authentic and empowering to you right now. And it could change tomorrow. It could be very different than what it was yesterday. Something that worked yesterday might not work right now, and that's okay. And it's always a process of finding what is fitting for right now. And definitely this connection is showing you all the ways in which you might be insecure about yourself and which you might be not sure about yourself. Like it might definitely trigger you a lot and make you feel like you are like I'm hearing, I don't know. Like definitely there might be just a very simple questions that this person is asking you. This doesn't have to resonate like literally, but there might be either questions that this person asks you, or things that they do, or things that they wonder about, or things that they just bring into this connection that make you go like, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure. Like what is the truth? Like which side do I go? What way do I choose? And those questions per se, the specific individual instances are quite irrelevant, I want to say. Like, of course they are important in like your practical day-to-day life, but in terms of who you are and in terms of what you do with your life, those things are pretty irrelevant. Like you're being asked to see through those things and find your core center, your inner peace and your core truth. Your mind will always change its mind. Your mind will always change. It will always be subjected to change. And that's also valid. It's not that your mind is ugly and bad and that it doesn't know shit. I mean, yeah, also that. But your mind can change 35 times a day. And there's value to that. There's a lot of value to that. But your truth, your core truth that is seated in your heart and your soul is always going to be constant. And it's a matter of finding the balance between staying seated within your core truth and also adapting to how life requires you to shapeshift and change and transform and go with the flow. I'm getting Jaden Smith vibes. I feel like nothing that I just said makes sense. I hope it kind of did, but I don't know if this is like reflective of oh my god. Sometimes I just ramble and I have no idea if anything that I said just makes sense. Anyways, let's just move on, I would say. We can look into the tarot and ask a little bit more about what this connection is about. Since I feel like we didn't focus a lot on that. Okay, I want to ask, what is the truth of this connection? What is the truth of pile two's connection with their person at this time? Oh my god, I'm shuffling so badly. Oh damn, it's the full moon in Gemini today. That is why I'm being so chaotic. Oh my god, I can't believe this. I mean, I can, makes a lot of sense, but oh my god. Always, I'm so susceptible to when the moon is in Gemini and when the moon is in Scorpio. I will notice it. Like, it will take me a little bit of time to realize and make the connection like, oh, so that's just one of those days again. But definitely, like, when the moon is in Gemini, I feel it. I feel it, I embody it, I am it. And when the moon is in Scorpio as well. So yeah. Chaos in my head, nothing makes sense and everything makes sense at the same time, and that's because today the moon is in Gemini, so at least the day that I'm filming. Or was it yesterday? I don't know, it doesn't matter. The moon is still in Gemini, full moon in Gemini. Okay, I think I've shuffled this deck thoroughly. So what is the truth in practical reality, in the 3D? What is the truth about this connection? I would like to have 2 cards, please. So we have the 8 of Cups. One more, please. What is the truth of this connection in practical reality? Do we have to take this? No. What is the truth of this connection? We have the 3 of Cups. There is a need, and again, I feel like this message is very similar to the other pile that I just filmed, but there is a need to decide to take distance from the things that are not making your heart feel fulfilled and go towards what is pleasurable. This could be within your connection. This could literally be like deciding to, like choosing to value the beautiful, pretty, loving things and loving aspects of this connection and this person, and choosing to focus on those things rather than only ever thinking about the things that make you anxious and the things that make you fearful and the things that make you feel in pain, or the flaws of this person and the things that they're not doing right, and deciding consciously to put your focus and appreciation on the beautiful things and nourish those and nurture those and sort of like make that your center and then move on from there. Or it could literally mean like that you, I hate to say this because this will literally differ for everyone watching this. So you have authority over your own situation, over your own life. You will know what the truth is for you. This could also mean for some of you that it's time to acknowledge the fact that this connection has run its course. Numbers 44 and 99 might appear to you together, or number 4 and 9. Might be repeating 4s and 9s that might show up to you like together. The 8 of Cups is all about deciding that something is just not good enough for you, that it's not fulfilling enough for you anymore, and deciding to sort of like take on a new journey and go look for what is truly fulfilling to you. This doesn't mean that it's completely bad. This doesn't mean that everything is gone to ish and that everything was always bad. It definitely has served its purpose. But there's definitely something, be it the connection itself or an attitude of yours within this connection that is affecting the connection in a negative way and that is making you have this negative experience of the connection. For some of you, literally this could mean that for some of you, this person will have kind of like rejected or turned down like a request or a desire to be more than friends, and that might of course have hurt you if you have deeper feelings for this person. But then the question here is, does it matter? Does it really matter like what your connection looks practically? Is it not enough indeed for you to still be in positive connection with this person, even just as friends? Because for some of you, it will, like, I feel like it's a very, very small number of you guys that will relate to this message specifically. But for some of you, like, if you decide to walk away completely, it might make you more unhappy than when you stay with this person just as friends. Because then you can still enjoy them, you can still enjoy your time with them, you can still grow together with them and witness them as they go onto their journey. You can still be part of each other's lives. Okay, give me some more insight on what is the deeper lesson here? What is it that pile 2 has to learn here? Okay, there's a learning and a letting go. What is that? What is it that pile 2 needs to learn? What was pile 2 supposed to learn through this connection? What is the lesson for pile 2, please? We have the 3 of Swords, and I want to take one more. And the Knight of Cups. Oh, damn, you guys, what the hell? This is literally so many similar cards, even if you're in with your oracles to the previous pile. Can you still see the cards if I put them there? Yeah, so Learn to nourish and to pour love into the parts of you that hurt. Learn to embrace your sadness and your hurt because they're there to tell you something. Like when you feel anger, it's your system telling you that something is not right, that you likely are being done wrong in some type of way, that you're getting a behavior or a treatment that you don't deserve, that you deserve better, and that you're not being treated with respect and with the dignity and with the energy that you deserve, essentially. I love that this Knight of Cups is a woman. It's a she. It's a she knight. And I really feel like if you have been attracting a lot of partners that have been emotionally unavailable, then it's definitely time to start being your own best partner. Start being your own best partner so that you can set the bar high for yourself, within yourself, about what you want and deserve within a partnership. If you don't want harshness, if you want gentleness, if you want someone who is embracive of your emotions, then start being that for yourself. And once you do that for yourself, you will literally not tolerate or be attracted to any, like you will not expect it from someone else. It's like someone who doesn't know how to be alone, so they kind of, I think I saw a reel of someone giving a speech saying that relationships today is just two people who don't know how to love themselves, so they kind of like hire someone else to do that for them. And of course that doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work. So be your own best partner within yourself, so you can learn how to be how to be with yourself, because how you are with yourself is how you allow others to treat you. And I feel like that's definitely a core message here. What does pile 2 need to let go of, please? What does pile 2 need to let go? That is... No way. Damn. Okay. This is super interesting. We have the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands. I want to take 2 more. What is it? What about this Queen of Cups, please? What about this Queen of Cups? Fire and water. There's definitely been a lack of earth in this reading, for sure. Damn! Shit! Okay. What about this Queen of Wands, please? Oh my god, are you kidding me? What about this Queen of Wands, please? What about this Queen of Wands? You're definitely a very, very deep soul, by the way. We have the Page of Pentacles. Oh, so that is so interesting. And the 3 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck with the 6 of Pentacles. You're a very, very deep soul. Very freaking deep soul. And not everyone is going to understand that. Not everyone is going to be able to match that energy. Some people are going to discredit it. Some people are just going to not understand where you're at. And that is indeed, especially if you have Libra and or Gemini placements, you might let that affect you and you might start doubting yourself, which pile 2 is definitely the one thing that you have to let go of. Doubting yourself. Stop doubting yourself, because that's not the way in which you're going to achieve much. Like with peace and love, with all my love, you need to stop doubting yourself, because you know exactly who you are. And that doesn't mean that you have to be one thing again, because you can be a Queen of Cups and a Queen of Wands and then the King of Cups all at the same time. Oh my god, it's so interesting, because we don't have the Page of Cups, but we do have the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the King of Cups. You can definitely shapeshift at your own will. Depending on who you're with, you're going to, people are calling out different versions of yourself depending on the energy that they embody. This is a good quality, but at the same time, it can, people can call in the best and good qualities in you, but they can also kind of get the worst qualities out of you. So if someone is going to be indeed wishy-washy, very unsure, very unstable, very ungrounded, you're likely going to reflect that back at them as well. And it's your job to, we had the solar plexus card, which is all about boundaries and all about being secure within yourself and your kind of like definition of who you are. Like, where do I end and where do you begin? You might tend to get blended in with other people's energies, which is also something that is not necessarily productive to you or healthy for you, because then you kind of like, you get ungrounded, you get scattered. And it's kind of like you're leaking energy out of yourself while you could literally just like, you have to learn to retain your own energy. Decide what is it that is worth it to spend energy on, and decide what kind of energy you do want to match. Like, if someone is being super jiggly and super giggly and joking with you all the time, and you just match that because you want to fit in with them and you want to vibe with them on the same wavelength, is it all the time what you want to as well? Or are there some times that you truly feel like, yeah, I don't feel like joking right now, I just want to have a serious ass conversation with you? Like, can we do that? Own up to that. Own up to your light and shadow. The Queen of Wands is all about owning up to your light and your shadow and finding power in both your light and your shadow. This, again, doesn't mean that you have to be completely perfect all the time and that you have to be super powerful and empowered all the time. But it also means owning up to when you struggle and just admitting like, hey, I'm really struggling right now. Like with your significant other or with your friends, just say like, hey, I'm really struggling to find myself. I don't know how to act. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to feel. I don't know what I'm feel. Just be honest. Just be completely honest with where you are at right now. And I feel like you're always searching like, oh, what should I be right now? Or like, where am I going? Where should I go? So much focused on the next step or like the different aspects. You're like constantly searching outside for yourself, where you should literally just be like, this is me right now. Confusion and unstable uncertainty. And I feel like that might be contradictory again to some of the things that I've just said, but I feel like this is definitely, if you resonate with this pile, if this is your pile, then you definitely realize or recognize yourself in this energy. And I feel like this is just really shining light on that duality, that opposition, that clashing of different energies that exist within you. Which is okay, they're all valid. Neither of them should be pushed away. It's just a matter of finding your here and now, and finding your groundedness, and finding your core center self. By the way, I felt called to mention this ever since before I started filling this pile. You might be interested in things like Egypt and ancient Egypt and Egyptian mythology and gods and goddesses and things like that, because this deck is definitely full of Egyptian symbology, and also lapis lazuli is one of the most popular stones in ancient Egypt. Fun fact, they used it as a blue pigment for paintings and what is it called, like glyphs and things like that. Let me sit just 1 second more with these cards and see if anything else needs to come through, and otherwise we will move on to some advice. Yeah, don't make things too complicated for yourself. If you realize that you are in a loop of overthinking, then catch yourself in the middle of it, or catch yourself while you're doing that and be like, okay, overthinking is not getting me anywhere. Let's stop doing that. Let's go read a book or something, or let's watch a movie. Like, catch yourself, become aware of what it is that you're not serving yourself when you're actually making things worse for yourself. And don't try to, like, if you have reached a point in which you have been overthinking for so long, don't try to overthink yourself out of that situation, because it doesn't work. Try to simplify things. Try to come back to one single individual point. Perhaps breathing exercises, or like a meditation app or something like that. Find something that works for you to bring you back to your center and to ground yourself. Now, let's see. I'm going to take a few of these cards. What closing messages, advice do we have for pile 2, please? We have projection. So what energy are you projecting outwards, and what are other people projecting onto you? Become aware of the difference between you and other people. We have narrow vision. This is literally one big theme of the previous pile. So those two piles might definitely be strongly interconnected with each other. I'm definitely noticing very similar energies. What else do we have for pile 2? One more, please, of these. We have trauma lens. Yeah, you're observing things from divine feminine again. You might definitely be observing things through a trauma lens. So it's really a matter of becoming aware and observing what is happening within you, and not necessarily trying to fix it or change it at all times, but just recognizing and completely accepting, like, this is how things are right now. So what? So what are we gonna do with it? Okay, that is like always the first step. Just become aware. Oh, we're gonna take first this. What advice? Turn over a new page. Let love lead the way for change. Yeah, definitely. Always also try to stay open to love. Try to, let me turn on this real quick. Try to stay open to love, and try to also keep your heart open. Again, I feel like you're in big need of getting in touch with the truth of your heart. While you may try to like overanalyze your feelings and overanalyze situations and overanalyze things through your brain, there's a very big need to drop into your heart's energy, which is interesting because the heart chakra is actually of course it's all about emotions and love, which can be strongly connected to the element of water, but the heart is actually, like, the heart chakra's element is actually air. It's all about giving and receiving. It's where the lungs are. It's all about reciprocal give and take, and freedom, because love is freeing. Love is freedom. At the end of the day, we also have simple pleasures. Look for beauty that is all around you. Also very, very similar message to the previous pile. But indeed, simple pleasures. Try to find satisfaction in the simple things, and try to be grateful for the simple things. Like, life doesn't have to be like as extraordinary as like travel vloggers make life seem to be. Some people are just very satisfied with simple things, and that's okay. One more message from this deck. Actually, no, I want to move on to the other deck, to the Starseed Oracle. I just saw the card of karmic relationships, just felt the need to mention that. What advice do we have for pile 2, please? What last advice do we have? We have perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out, common ground. I feel like this card is pretty self-explanatory. I feel like I don't want to add anything to it. Perspective, none of this matters. Zoom out, common ground. It's what you decide. Nihilism is different than optimistic nihilism. Like, you know that meme of like two people sitting in a bus, and one is looking at the dark side, and they're like looking all sad, and the other one is like looking at the view. And it's like bright and colorful and everything, and they're both saying like none of this matters. Like, one is sad and then scared because none of this matters, and the other one is super happy because none of this matters. Like, it's literally a matter of perspective. There's no such thing as one truth, and that's freaking powerful. But you shouldn't let yourself be overwhelmed by it, because then you're giving that meaning too. Cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. Yeah, you're going through processes, and you're exactly where you need to be, and you have the power. Like, the universe doesn't put you through anything that you can't handle. Let's put it that way. Deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. Yeah, there's a lot of healing, especially emotional healing to be done, and you're doing it. You're going through it right now. You're being probably intensely triggered by this connection. And it doesn't have to be necessarily this person's fault. It's really all up to you, what you do with the energy that you're receiving, and you decide what energy you want to keep, what energy you don't want to keep, what energy you like. Boundaries, that's also especially a very important word for this pile. Whew, that was intense and chaotic. I hope that you guys got some type of insight from this reading. I really, really hope that you could find some type of value. Please definitely feel free to leave a comment down below letting me know how this resonated, as it means absolutely everything to me to know how these readings land on the other side of the screen. And also feel free to leave a like and subscribe, as that really helps your girl out here with the algorithm on YouTube. And thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hi pile 3, if you chose the beautiful blue apatite as well as the white sage tarot, this is going to be reading all about does your perception of this connection match with the objective higher energy, spiritual core, true essence of what the connection truly is. What we're going to do is we are going to start off with some oracles. The first upper row of oracles will indicate to us, it's going to basically just be an energy check. So you should find yourself about how you're experiencing and perceiving this connection to be. And then the oracles below that will explain to us a little bit more about what the true core, from a higher perspective, from a spiritual perspective, what the essence of the connection truly is. So that will hopefully give you a little bit of insight on whether you have some blockages or limiting beliefs about this, or where you are kind of working against yourself if it doesn't match up. And afterwards we're going to go into the tarot. We don't have any specific questions. Let me see if everything is nice and framed. Yeah, I mean, I haven't put any cards on the table yet, but I needed to check. We don't have any specific questions for the tarot yet. I guess for the previous piles, I just went with what I felt was needing some more clarification. So sometimes, like, for this pile, I don't know what will come through. We could go and ask about what your person is feeling, or what you need to do, perhaps, depending on what is suitable for this energy that you're in currently, and what comes through to the reading. And then afterwards we're going to close off the reading with some advice, and yeah, that's it. So without further ado, let's see what we have here for you, for how you perceive this connection to be. We have the right choice, number 29. Then we have strength, and we have frustration. Then we have number 54 with what is hidden will be revealed. We have the 10th house with structure, discipline, life mission, accomplishments, and career. And then last but not least, we have number 26 or 8 with transformation and pressure. I feel like this should be okay. And then for the core essence from a higher perspective of your connection, we have the golden rose with number 58. It always takes me a while to read these Roman numbers. Then we have the sacral chakra with number 2. The frequency of the sacral chakra, the orange flower of life, supports our ability to flow with our desires and stimulates our creative powers to manifest success and abundance in our lives. We have growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. We have number 4 with Venus and love. And last but not least, we have patterns. So now that I have, now that I am at the last reading, or last pile for this reading, all of these piles have been frighteningly similar. Like, even in terms of the cards, the words, so if you have been feeling called to either one of the other piles or both of the other piles, then that will make a lot of sense. Let me just say that. So I want to start off by reading the poem that, this is the Rumi Oracle, and every card comes with a Rumi poem. And this one for your card, the right choice, reads, "Stay close to those who know about the heart. Choose the shade of a tree that is in constant bloom. Don't meander aimlessly. meander. Though I guess it means like wander aimlessly. Among the herb sellers and potion vendors, go directly to the shop that sells nothing but sweets. Don't sit waiting by every boiling pot to have your plate filled. Not every boiling pot is cooking what you want. Not every sugar cane is filled up with sugar. Not every down has an up. Not every eye has a vision. Not every sea contains pearls. And I think that's freaking beautiful. And I honestly feel like perhaps these piles have been kind of like a crescendo of different stages of levels of awareness about similar situations, if that makes sense. So definitely if you felt called to only one pile in this reading, and like in a few months or in a while you feel called to come back to this reading, then that would make a lot of sense too. Okay. I feel like for how you're perceiving this connection, pile 3, you have a lot of resistance, a lot of frustration. We have a lot of frustration and potentially a big deal of anger. And I feel like most of you watching this will either have one of the two following reactions. One is like, oh yeah, I absolutely have a lot of anger within me right now. Another portion of you might be like, anger? No, I'm not angry. I'm chill. I'm completely chill. Well, you know very well that that's not true. Because if you are in denial of anger, it just means exactly that you're in denial of having anger, that you kind of repressing anger, that you kind of have this resistance towards anger, possibly because growing up we have all been taught likely that being angry is bad and being angry is not a good thing, and that blah blah blah. Which, by the way, anger is just an emotion. There's nothing wrong with any emotion. All and any emotions are valid and completely okay to have. They're just here to tell us something. When anger becomes not okay is when we act in ways that either hurt us or other people, when we say hurtful things, when we do hurtful things. That is when things start becoming not okay. But anger in itself is not a problem. There are definitely healthy ways to express anger, and there are unhealthy ways of expressing anger. So there's nothing wrong with anger. It's just all about how you express it and how you deal with it, how you let it out. I feel like... So I want to read a couple of keywords that come through here, which are transformation, pressure, growth, expand my consciousness and awareness, patterns. So of course I'm going to read your cards, but I feel like if you are here and if you have seen these cards and you're kind of already feeling that, yes, this is definitely my pile, you already know what's coming. And this is, you have a lot of resistance and a lot of frustration, probably because things are not going as you want them to go in your connection with this person. For some of you, I feel like you are in a relationship, in an established connection with this person, and you come together often, you still talk, you're definitely in contact, but things seem to clash a lot of the time. And if that's your case scenario, then you're always trying to make things right. You're always trying to accommodate the other person. You're always trying to find a way to make things work. You're always striving to make things work, essentially. You're determined to fix and grow together with this person and just talk things through. And at least that's your intention. That's your desire. Another case scenario might be that you are not in contact with this person at all, that you're separated in some type of way, that either them or you have walked away, or there's just some level of discrepancy between the two of you. And this will definitely not be... Rejection is divine protection. You've probably heard this a gazillion times, and that's because the universe needs you to realize this. When something is not happening, it's just not happening, and you can't force it to happen. You can't make it happen if the other person is not working on the same level as you. And even if you put all of you in, you can't force things that are not meant to happen. This connection likely has the purpose of showing you where you need to grow, where your wounds are, which is likely in the embracing of your emotions, such as anger and sadness and perhaps things like jealousy. You might feel within this connection that there's a lot of repressed and a lot of like imploding energy within you. There's a lot of pressure indeed, for sure, that you're putting on yourself, and that your external environment, specifically this connection, is kind of like perpetrating. It's showing you what you're doing to yourself. And this connection is happening so that you, first of all, can see the patterns and see where you're hurting and see where you need to grow, so that you can learn how to love yourself better and love others better as well. But it's really, in this pile specifically, it's definitely all it's not all about that, but it's a lot about finding love for yourself and loving yourself through your negative emotions, loving yourself through your sadness and with your sadness. Still recognizing that you're worthy of love and attention and time and energy when you're sad and when you're angry as well. There's a very big element of secrecy for some reason, because the golden rose is also all about things unfolding and things protecting inner secrets and inner jewels. And then we have what is hidden will be revealed. So I feel like you might have been asking a lot of readings, like also private readings for some of you. You will have been asking a lot of readings. And if you do channeling work for yourself, you might have been pulling cards for yourself and things like that. You might have just been searching for answers about, like, is this connection going to happen? Is this connection meant to, like, finish? Like, what is going to happen? How does this person feel? What am I supposed to learn? And I feel like you have come to a wall. You might have come to a wall, and perhaps I feel like for some of you, if you have been watching readings on YouTube, there might have been a period in your time where a lot of readings were resonating. You were like, oh my god, this is so to the T my situation, and you were learning so much and you were growing so much and you were transforming so much. But then you might have come to a stalling point in which no reading out there seemed to resonate, in which no reading seemed to have any answers. And even if you have been in contact, like direct contact with your own guides, or if you have been like whatever you have been doing to search to find answers, it seemed like these answers were just not coming. And I feel like potentially you have been just relentlessly asking the same questions over and over and over again. That the universe, your spirit guides, kind of had to like take these tools away from you, like the resonance away from you, so that you would stop asking these questions and just really sit with the situation as it was and as it is. And at some point, you stop receiving answers because there are no answers, because the answers are still being created, the answers are still being developed, kind of. And sometimes you really don't get any answers that you're looking for because you have to do it yourself. You have to create an answer. You have to decide for an outcome for yourself. What is for sure is that this connection to you has felt like a struggle. Like a very big struggle. And it has been immensely triggering to you, for sure. And it has been hurtful, and not necessarily strictly because this person has said or done hurtful things to you. Like, sure, possibly they have, but this is more about your perception and your experience. But the reason why you have been hurting and struggling so much and feeling so much resistance is because there's some type of wound, some type of part of you that is kind of screaming for attention. There's this part of you that really needs love from you, and validation from you, and presence from you, and acceptance and being embraced by you. Again, this theme throughout these readings is like looking for things and validation and answers on the outside of you, looking for direction on the outside of you, where the answers are really, really on the inside of you. And if this connection has not been giving you what you wanted and needed, then if it's not been working, if it's not happening, that's all you need to know. If it's not working, it means that it's not working. And if it's not happening, it means that it's not happening. If this person is ghosting you, ignoring you, not being there with you, either physically or just emotionally, if they're abandoning you, if they turn their back on you, either literally or just emotionally, then that's it. That's the truth. There's not much more to know or understand. Like, sure, they have their wounds, sure, they have their own patterns, but that's none of your business. That's not your job to fix or to understand. Your job to fix and understand is your own shit. Truthfully. And again, I feel like out of the 3 readings, this one is the most clear. That's why it has felt like kind of a crescendo. There was so much confusion and chaos in the previous piles. And this is kind of like the final answer. So it really feels like a lot of you might resonate to all 3 in different stages of your connections. But this is like the final answer. Like if it's not happening right now, it's just not happening right now. If it's not working, it's not working. You can't keep sort of like smashing your head against it, hoping that it will magically start working. If you don't change anything, I believe Ace Tarot repeats it all the time, and she says that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for different results or something like that. And I feel like you kind of have been doing that. Like you have been doing the same things over and over again, asking the same questions over and over again, trying to use the same remedies over and over again, expecting for things to change. But the real change, now I'm quoting J. Cole, the real change comes from inside or something like that. And once you truly go through some type of transformation within yourself, then naturally your behaviors, your thoughts, and your attitudes are going to change, which naturally are going to affect your outside world. So your connections and how you see things and how you approach things and what you do with different things that are being given to you. You don't have to accept, like the poem said, like not every pot is cooking the things that you want and that you like. And perhaps now you have been eating from people's kitchens and people's menus even when it was not super satisfying for you, and it has been leaving you hungry because perhaps your body was craving other nutrients. You crave sweetness while people have given you saltiness. And you have been accepting that because perhaps you feel like you should accept and you should embrace people for who they are. And sure, there's truth to that. There's truth and value to that. But the fact that someone is that what someone, like, it doesn't have to be wrong to not be enough for you. Like if your person is giving you something, or like what they're offering you is not enough for you, it doesn't mean that it's inherently bad. It just means that it doesn't work with you, that it's not enough for you, that you want different things, that you want something else, and that's okay. What should we ask with the tarot? Okay, give me a second to think about what we should ask the tarot. Okay, I think I want to ask what you have to know about your person, or what you kind of have to accept about your person. For some reason, that is what I feel called to ask for you guys. So that's what we're going to do. And then afterwards, I want to ask perhaps like what should you focus on, or some messages to you from your spirit guides about which direction you're headed or you should be heading to. So what does pile 3 have to know about this person that they're asking about? What is it that pile 3 has to know about this person? What does pile 3 have to know about this person? So we have the Hierophant, Taurus energy number 5. We have, damn, okay, there's something about secrecy. There's something about this person that you don't know. Yeah, there's nothing, my mind is blanking. There's something about secrecy. There's something about a secret that perhaps that this person hasn't been able to open up to you about yet, or something that they have been, I don't know what it is. Literally, I'm not getting anything, but it's clear, like the word secret and the High Priestess is also about like secrecy and mysterious energy. There is something hidden that is going to be revealed. We literally had the card like something hidden will be revealed. So don't panic, pile 3. Don't panic about that. It will come when the time is right. You can't force it. You can't do anything. You can literally not go there and sort of like with a spoon and get the truth or the secret out of them. So yeah, I want to say it's frustrating because I'm like telling you there's a secret, but I'm also not telling you what it is, which I mean, it makes sense because it's a secret. And then I'm telling you to like let it go and not bother about it. Like, I'm sorry about that. I don't have control over the messages. Yeah, sorry, pile 3. But yeah, this Hierophant in reverse, the Hierophant is all about commitment, and this person is not committed in the same way to you. Like, even if you guys are in a relationship, or even if you guys are in connection, for those of you who still are in some type of way connected to this person, they don't have the same priorities as you. They don't have the same level of dedication, the same type of dedication as you have. And that is something that you probably knew, and that you maybe, if you have been wanting to change that, then this is your sign to stop trying to change that, because it's not your job to change that for them. Even if you know that they might have escapist tendencies and that it's like hurting them as well, not just you. It's not your job to fix that. You can't fix that for them. You can't want change and transformation and healing for them more than they want it for themselves. This is literally just something that you have to accept, that you guys are very different in this, and that you guys have different priorities at this moment. What else does pile 3 need to know about this person right now, please? We have the 7 of Swords. This person has trust issues, and perhaps it's because of that reason that they are not telling you something. I want to take one more. What about the 7 of Swords, please? I'm going to take this one. I think I have to take it. Death. Yeah, this death in reverse. Scorpio energy. Oh, Scorpio energy, Pisces energy again, Taurus. Yeah, this person is not prone to change, or like they're definitely not. God. The death card and the element of transformation and of letting things go has definitely come through all piles so far. What should pile 3 do about this? What should pile 3 do about this? What does pile 3 have control over? What does pile 3 have the power of doing something with this stuff? Because I don't want to keep giving you things that you can't do anything about, because it's like, okay, so what? 8 of Cups in reverse. So you're still choosing to be, you're literally still choosing to be with someone who is not pouring the same energy in as you are, who is not giving you the energy that you desire and deserve. And perhaps ask yourself, why are you staying? You can say, because I want to make it work. Why do you want to make this work? If it's not working, why do you want to make something that doesn't work? And I know it can be a little bit of a triggering question, and try to be as honest with yourself as you possibly can. Because of course, if you lie to yourself, then first of all, you won't know. You can ignore lying to yourself for as long as you want, but it will keep surfacing in different ways. Why do you want this to work? Because it's very fair. Of course, you want to be happy in a relationship, but if you're not happy in this connection, then what is it that is making you stay? What is it that is making you stay? Like, of course, this person, if you guys are indeed like still involved with each other, if you guys keep coming back to each other, then you both have a reason to keep coming back to each other. But if it's, yeah, just ask yourself, why do I want to make this work so badly? What does pile 3 have to do? 9 of Wands. Be vulnerable, be authentic, and drop the I'm invincible and I'm strong and I want to say almost I'm perfect, although I don't think you think that you're perfect, but drop this need for yourself to always know what you're doing and always have things under control. If you are angry, if you are pissed, if you are lost, then that's just who you are in that moment, and then you should be able to own up to that. Because perhaps if this person feels like they can't trust you, then perhaps you have given them clues at some point in life that they can't. or perhaps you remind them of other people that they have not been able to trust. Like there's a reason why people get into like these weird dynamics with each other, because it's just perfect matches for each other's triggers and wounds, unfortunately. But it's also fortunately, because it gives space. It opens up the space for huge transformation and growth. So what about the Seven of Swords? What can pile 3 do? The Knight of Cups. Be gentle and be understanding with this person's triggers and wounds. And don't expect them to open up when they're not ready to. Like, it's okay if they don't want to open up. As much as it's okay if you don't want to open up. You can't make this person be gentle and understanding with you, but you definitely can offer this person the same energy that you would want to be offered. So if you want gentleness, don't give this person harshness. Don't pay this person back with the same like coin that they're paying you or something like that. How is that? How do you say that thing? Don't pay them back with the same shitty energy that they're throwing at you. If you want gentleness, you likely are a very gentle, soft, sweet, beautiful being. So be true to that. Offer gentleness. Because if you give them harshness, it's you who's feeling that harshness in the first place. If you give them judgment, it's you who in the first place feels that negative judgment towards them. And if you get frustrated at them for not opening up, then you're going to have that frustration. And if you can find understanding for this person, if you can find that little piece of understanding of like, hey, I see you because I feel the same in some type of way, then that can be so healing for you and for this person and for the connection. But first and foremost, for you. What about this Death in Reverse card? What can pile 3 do about this? The Fool in Reverse and the Six of Wands. I had the urge when I was shuffling for this card, I had the urge to not put anything there. And truthfully, this is not even an answer indeed. Like this is just kind of, these 3 cards together here are just telling me there is resistance to change and there's resistance to move on, and we're just pretending that things are fine when they're not. So this is not necessarily an answer, and I'm not going to give an answer on that because you're not there yet. And this is literally also what Spirit has been trying to tell you, like, let things develop as they need to. Not everything needs to happen right now. Not everything needs to be perfect and great right away. Like, you're learning, you're on a journey. Try to take things one step at a time. First, like, ask yourself the right questions and embody the right energies and manifest what it is that you want to manifest for yourself. Like, work on yourself, work on your own, work on yourself. That's pretty much all you can do, truly. Like, you don't have control over other people, over situations. You have control over your thoughts. You have control over what you do with your emotions and how you treat yourself through your emotions and with your emotions. And you have control over what you do with yourself. That's literally the only thing that you have control over. What you do with yourself. Not circumstances, not things that happen to you, not how people treat you, only what you do with yourself. So let that be a reminder. So let's take some advice for pile 3, please. Some things that they need to focus on, perhaps, or I'll take this one. Unseen. Yeah, again, the secrecy vibes. We get it! Oh my god. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to like keep nudging you like, hey, there's things that you don't know, and I'm gonna tell you that there are things that you don't know, but I'm not going to tell you what they are. But I guess that's what we're getting today. Oh, I just saw the card of avoidance. If you feel like this person is in avoidance mode, then ask yourself, perhaps, how are you being in avoidance mode as well? Time. Literally, in all 3 piles, we had the concept of time. So give things time. Whatever that means for you, allow time to do its work. The 3D planet Earth is a slow-moving dimension. It needs time to let things happen and to transform things and to develop things and shit like that. One more card for pile. That is a lot. So we have secure. Find some security within yourself first, because if you are insecure within yourself, then you're going to be insecure in your connections and relationships. Find the ways in which you are bringing excesses in this, and separation on the bottom of the deck too, which definitely can confirm that some of you are not currently with this person at all. Like guys might be in not no contact or some sort, just distance between the two of you. And rejection is divine protection. Remember that. Rejection is divine protection. Time is needed for things to develop and unravel for the both of you. Then after that, you might come together, you might part ways. It really depends. It will change for all of you. But you're definitely you're being led the way that you need to be. The way that you need to be going, and slowly but surely, the only thing that you can do is work on yourself out of love and not because you freaking hate yourself or something like that. There's a difference between that. There's a difference between I love myself and I deserve to feel good, therefore I want to do the work, and therefore I want to grow because I love myself and I deserve to feel good, and I need to fix myself because I'm wrong. It's two very different energies. So definitely be mindful of that too. Accepting challenges. Trust your inner resources. Exactly. Accept this as a challenge. Like, what am I going to do with all of this? What do I want to do with all of this? What is the outcome that I want? And start working towards that. Work of art. Be the portrait of divine beauty. Recognize that everything happens for a reason. And recognize that you're freaking powerful. Pile 3. I was about to say pile 2. One more, please, for pile 3. And perhaps indeed, like if you have been like on an art block or something, for those of you who make some type of art or work or something like that, if you have like in a slump, perhaps try to find a connection between the energy that you're in right now and indeed like this slump of yours, because there might be insights there for you too. Return to joy. We are here to experience joy. Yeah, in the other piles, there was a strong message of stop focusing on what is wrong and start searching actively for what is good. Focus, like the shift of your perception and the shift of your focus is one of the most important inner transformations that you can do for yourself. So what advice or final messages do we have for pile 3, please? I guess that one was not going to come out. We have all paths lead home, inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. Quite literally what I just said, and also a card that came out in another pile. And I mean, there's a lot of cards in this deck, so that was so interesting. And oh, did I have this in the, oh no, this was in another reading, I believe in the last reading. Earth pulsing, pulse of the mother, slow down time in nature. Yeah, just nourish yourself, be in silence, find stillness, go find beauty. Go find beauty and peace. We had Venus and the peace card in this pile. Go look for beauty. Go look for beauty and peace. That's advice for you coming through right now. Last piece of advice for pile 3, please. Hey. Okay, I'm gonna take this one. Messenger, serious energy, bringing harmony and balance. I was thinking about Libra energy with the whole Venus and peace thing. You know, Libra is ruled by Venus, and it's all about trying to find peace and peace and love. Yeah, bringing harmony and balance. I don't feel like that message needs explanation. Oh, there was a lot about finding balance between masculine and feminine, and just finding balance within yourself in another pile too. So I love how everything is connected. Yeah, I feel like I don't have any more words to spend for these readings because so much has been said already. Pile 3, thank you so much for letting me read your cards. I really, really hope that you got some type of value out of this. Definitely, please feel free to leave a comment down below letting me know how it has resonated for you, as it means absolutely everything to me to know how my readings land on the other side of the screen. And please also feel free to leave a like and subscribe. That really helps me out with the algorithm here on YouTube. And thank you again so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.